Well, I just opened up this Cold Steel Counterpoint 1, and pretty cool knife. Actually, I was recording when I opened it the first time, but I didn't like how that first recording kind of turned out. I kind of was mumbling and stumbling over my words a bit too many times to where I figured it would just be best to start over. So here I am. Anyways, yeah, I think this is a pretty cool knife. It's definitely, it's more of a dagger type knife, which is kind of cool. And it is the AUS 10A steel. And I'll pull the box back over here so you can kind of get a look at those specs on there. But it's your 4-inch blade, 9 inches overall, AUS 10A, 4.7 ounces, 3.5 millimeters thick, 5-inch Grivex handle. So, yeah, this knife feels... Ooh, Jesus, stabbed my table. Anyways, this knife, it feels quite light, which I like. Something I think is kind of interesting about this knife here, the Counterpoint 1, is... I guess it kind of... Well, I guess it's not that interesting. I guess it's just more noticeable to me, but... a lot of knives, like when you open them, and maybe it's just because it's the triad locks, but see, this one's like, you open it up and your back lock kind of lines up flush with the back of the knife, which I feel like, yeah, most lockbacks do, right? And then I guess I didn't even notice on the Code 4 that I guess that one doesn't either. So I was trying to give an example of like, and then sure enough, that one's not that way either. So, okay. But yeah, I noticed here that the, yeah, they just doesn't like line up even, which is kind of interesting. Not a bad thing. It's interesting. It is cool how this has its, finger guard. So it really is like this knife was just designed around stabbing. So, if you have a hankering for stabbing something, not someone, okay, we don't condone violence, but for something, then this is good for it. You can put your thumb here and lock it in there, and can stab, and kind of interesting. I like these holes. I think they're interesting. Kind of makes me think of like a cigar cutter or something. It's like putting your cigar and you can like just give it a chop. But yeah, I think those holes are kind of cool. It definitely makes it lighter and whatnot. But I guess if you're like me, you could be a little careless and then just start like putting your fingers in there or something. I don't know. And then end up, like a little bit sharp in there. It actually shaved my nail. So don't do that. I guess, here, I'm going to do it again. But yeah, look at that. Bit of a sharp corner. So it's not made for actually putting your fingers in there, but you can if you want to. I wouldn't recommend it. You have a hankering to cut the tip of your pinky off. You could do it with that. Just give it a chop. Wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, pretty cool knife. I think it looks cool. It is the AUS 10A, which most of my Cold Steels I've been getting so far have been S35VN. With exception of the Raja 2 and then this Formax Scout. And the Click and Cut folder, which obviously would be silly if they were putting S35 on, replaceable blades. That'd be kind of silly, But yeah, I mean, I've actually been really happy with that AUS 10A. They do a really good job on it. And it takes a really nice edge. So, yeah. So I guess my overall impressions with this knife are that it is cool looking. Probably not going to be the best of slicers. I mean, just looking at, you know, like being kind of more of stab design, but, you know, it feels pretty sharp. That's not a good way of judging, but you know, seems pretty sharp. And I'm sure it is. Like all my cold steels I've gotten so far have had a really nice edge on them. Like for factory edges, they do pretty good. At least I've been fairly pleased with them. I have thrown them on like a strop right after getting them, but like I'm talking like, you know, 0.1 micron to make it like hair whittling sharp, not just like sharp, but like ridiculously sharp. So, anyways, there you go. There's that knife. I'm gonna quit rambling and just let you enjoy the beautifulness of this cool design. All right, well, there it is, perfectly centered. So, man, is it perfect? You know, I always do that. I'm like, is it perfectly centered? How far is perfectly centered? But I'd say that's pretty good. So, anyways, there she is. All right. Well, you guys all have a good one. Bye.